You keep thinking the problem is out there, the competition, the timing, the environment. But there's one thing you're losing to every single day, and it's closer than you think. It's not your circumstances, it's you. More specifically, what you can't control. Because if you can't control this, you don't stand a chance, not long term, not when it matters. You might get lucky once, twice, but you won't win consistently. And deep down, you already know that. Look at your patterns. You start strong, then fade. You set goals, then delay. You promise yourself discipline, then negotiate with your own weakness. And in those small moments, you lose, quietly, repeatedly. That's the part most people ignore. Winning isn't decided in big moments. It's decided in the micro decisions no one sees, the ones you think don't matter. But they do, because every time you give in, you reinforce a version of yourself that can't be trusted. And that's dangerous, because if you can't trust yourself, how can you build anything real? Think about it. You say you want success, but your actions say you want comfort. You say you want growth, but your habits say you want ease. That contradiction, that's where you lose. Not because you lack talent, but because you lack control. Control over your focus, control over your impulses, control over what you do when no one is watching. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. Because controlling this isn't glamorous. There's no applause, no recognition, no instant reward, just resistance, daily resistance. You wake up tired and still choose discipline. You feel distracted and still choose focus. You feel like quitting and still move forward. That's control. And most people avoid it. They chase motivation instead. But motivation is unstable. It comes and goes. It depends on how you feel. And feelings are unreliable. So when motivation disappears, so do they. That's why they stay average. Because average is emotional, reactive, uncontrolled. But the elite, they operate differently. They don't rely on feeling ready. They rely on identity. I am the type of person who does this, no matter what. That shift changes everything, because now it's not about effort, it's about alignment, and alignment removes friction. But here's the truth no one tells you. You don't build control in comfort, you build it in conflict. When your mind says stop, and you say continue. When your body says rest, and you say one more step. When distraction pulls, and you choose direction. That's where control is forged, and every time you win that internal battle, you upgrade, slightly, quietly, but permanently. Stack enough of those, and you become dangerous, not to others, but to your old self, the version of you that hesitated, that delayed, that lacked discipline. That version starts disappearing, and something stronger replaces it. But here's the part most people never reach, because they quit too early. They expect control to feel natural. It doesn't. At first, it feels forced, uncomfortable, heavy, like you're fighting yourself every step of the way. Because you are. You're breaking patterns, rewriting habits, destroying an identity that kept you small. Of course it's hard, but hard is the price, and most people aren't willing to pay it. So they stay stuck, blaming circumstances, waiting for the perfect moment, hoping something external will change, but nothing changes. Until you do, until you take control of the one thing that decides everything, yourself, your actions, your consistency, your standards. Because winning isn't about doing something once, it's about doing the right things. Even when you don't feel like it, especially then. That's the difference, that's the edge. So if you've been losing, not publicly, but internally, this is where it shifts. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now, in the next decision you make. Because that decision, it's not small, it's identity, and identity compounds. If this changed your perspective, subscribe, because the next video might change your life.